Let's put our hands together to welcome Dr.
Thank you so much. شكرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أنا أتكلم يعني شوية باللغة العربية بسبب أنا سكنت باليمن 5 سنوات فدرست اللغة بالقاعات. تعرفوا القاعات؟ كل خميس والجمعة 5 سنوات. But sorry, Mario. Yeah, it's a party trick now. Like I love Arabic, but since moving to Dubai, even my Emirati friends speak to me in English now. Arabic they use for grandma and grandpa and football for some reason, but yeah, business is in English. So yeah, I'll do today's presentation in English if that's okay. I am so excited to be here. This is really, really fun. Mario and I have been conspiring for a while. Ibrahim and I have been conspiring for a while. Lem and I have been conspiring for a while. We're conspiring on your behalf, by the way. We're trying to improve the quality of your lives today. So whatever we discuss today is going to improve the quality of your life for the rest of your life. You can take it or leave it as much as you want. I don't want you to think of this as a training program. I want you to think of this as a series of conversations. The conversations that we're going to have over the next hour or so, I'm hoping will shift the way that you think about productivity, about organizations, about your role as managers, and the kinds of things that you can do, should do, and are willing to do with the people that are on your team or whose team you're on. Make sense? Any questions quickly before I begin? All right, these are our conversations. We're going to talk about the nature of economic games, goal setting for apex productivity, managerial excellence, empowerment through accountability, and dare to innovate. We're going to get there. It's going to be so good. All right, number 1, what does productivity mean at DOF? Tell me, if you had to define productivity for this organization, what would it mean?
Delivering on the accurately.
Delivering on time and accurate, yeah?
Do it yesterday.
Do it yesterday.
Less resource.
Sorry?
Resources.
Proactivity, good, I like that.
Less resources.
Less resources.
More outputs.
Do more with less. Yeah, it's very popular these days. Yes, do more with less, that's productivity. That's fantastic. I actually really like that definition. You know why? Because that's actually the definition. Yeah, sorry. It's horrible when we come up with the truth of that. We think busyness is a measure of productivity. It's not. Everybody's busy. Everybody says they're overwhelmed. Anybody overwhelmed? Does anybody feel like January hit, suddenly it's 2025, the world shifted into a new gear and didn't ask your permission? Anyone? Right. I feel that way. A lot of my executive clients feel that way. It's not surprising. That is just the nature of the world. Actually, we as humans have been doing that for thousands of years. We slowly increase the level of expectation on ourselves and on those around us. In order to meet that level of expectation, we create technology to augment us so that we become faster, smarter, more connected. As soon as we've adapted to that augmentation, then the level of expectation goes up. Make sense? It's a self-reinforcing loop, and there's no escape. But what we can do is we can learn tools that we have, some of the tools which I'll bring to you today, to manage that expectation really well, to produce from ourselves, from our efforts, from those of our teams, the most that we can reasonably from the least amount of input, reasonably. The ratio of input to output is productivity. It is not a measure of activities over time, but the amount of effort that you have to put in order to get something out. And I know that some of you as managers, you've been putting in a lot of effort to try to get just a little bit of output from your team. And wouldn't you like some tools by which you can get a lot of output from your team with a very little bit of effort? Would that improve the quality of your life? Yeah? That's conversation number 1. The nature of economic games. Companies and organizations like the Department of Finance, every organization, every government, every organization of people in the world doesn't really exist. DOF doesn't really exist. What is DOF? Is it a bank? Is it a set of numbers? A bunch of computers? A building, perhaps? Is it you? What is it? Any guesses?
The purpose, the mandate.
Yeah, the purpose, the mandate. But even that, it's all made up, right?
The people that make.
Yeah, the people. It's a really interesting thing. If we look very, very far back into our history, maybe Asr al-Jahiliya, if you would allow me that, permit me to look into that time, we used to build our tribes based on who we were born to, where we lived, the languages we speak, the religions that we followed. And so we would participate in the tribe based on what our parents usually did or who we got married to, or that it was very close, right? And so we learned very early on in the formation of human organizations that it's impossible to survive the world all by yourself. I can't survive the world by myself, because if I have a female partner and we make little baby humans to try to keep the race of humanity going, and I go and hunt and gather for my female partner and our little baby humans, who's protecting them from all of the other apex predators on the planet if I'm off hunting and gathering? Who's doing that? Whose role is that? Whose job? Mario's job. It's Mario's job. So yeah, I've just decided that it's going to be much more efficient for me because I can't protect them and provide for them at the same time. So I have to partner with another family. I'm going to partner with Mario's family so that when I'm off hunting and gathering, he can protect the women and the children, and the women can divide the responsibilities of food preparation and education. That's it. That is the division of labor. That is Adam Smith's original thesis, is we evolved to create societies in which we participate economically because that is the most efficient way to survive the world. The fact is, every one of us is selfish. All of us are thinking about ourselves and what we can get out of this. The smartest and most effective survival tool that we have is the recognition that the most effective form of selfishness is together, on teams. Okay? Because I'm going to survive better, my family is going to survive better if I'm working with you and your family. We all eat better. We all put gas in the car, food on the plate. We take a vacation once a year, retire at a reasonable age. We all get to build the careers and lives of our dreams. We put our kids through the education options of their choice if we work together on a team. And that is what an organization is. That is what all companies in the world are. They are economic teams. That started roughly in the Industrial Revolution, so about 3.5 centuries ago. Before that, most of your economic teams would be based on tribe, geography, city, nation, empire, religion, language. The Industrial Revolution made it possible for you to join an economic team that had nothing to do with any of those things. Now you can participate in an economic team that's outside of your race, religion, your city, anywhere you want to go. You can participate, and you don't have to do what your parents did for work. You could do anything. You can be a graphic designer. You could be an accountant or an architect or a plumber or an artist. That's what the Industrial Revolution did for us. So the economic teams that we build now are much more efficient that way because you can participate in any team you want, on any role you want. But it's just a team, and it's just a game. Any reflections? Was that too much for you? Did I throw you off with the age of ignorance? No? Yeah. No, my pronunciation is like, it's Yemeni. My Emirati friends make fun of me because they say I sound Hadrami. Yeah. Yeah, I wish, for those of you who are English speakers, a bit like redneck. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, but what we've learned psychologically is that in participating in these economic teams, what we need to find is meaning, right? Like your job is not all of you. Okay, I know you didn't wake up this morning excited about Excel spreadsheets, right? Or banking. How many of you woke up this morning thinking, oh man, I can't wait to do budgeting again. And I'm super excited about finishing that report from 2024. How many of you excited about like PowerPoint and reporting? And no, none of you, but you're spending half of your life doing it. So is that not insanity? See, the thing is, it's super interesting because humans, most of the time, we don't care what we do for work. We're happy to collect garbage as long as we enjoy the company of the people we're collecting it with, and we know why we're doing it. The reality is none of you woke up this morning excited about the what of your job. None of you woke up thinking, oh man, I can't wait to switch my computer on and build that PowerPoint presentation. Or, oh man, I'm just so excited about filling out those forms, you know? But that's the same in every company, everywhere in the world. Almost none of us wake up excited about what we do, but we do wake up excited about why we do it and who we're with. That's what we can connect to.
So people matters.
People matters a lot. It's not the what, it's the who and the why. Why is attached to the psychological definition of meaning. So when we look at a meaningful life, and if we say that half of your life every day is this job, right? It's not other than you, but it's not all of you. But it's so important that when you meet a stranger on the street, every single time you meet a stranger, they ask you two questions. One is your name, because they need to know what to call you. And the second question every stranger ever asks you is, what do you do? Why? Why do we ask that question?
Position.
Correct. Because what you do for work is who you are in society, and it is who you are to me as a stranger. If you are a plumber or an architect or a member of the ruling family, I need to know, because then I have vocabulary for you. I know how to treat you, right? I don't want to insult you, and I don't want to, I don't want to use language that's not useful to you or helpful for you. And I don't know anything about your values or your kids or your family or your history or anything. But what I do know is the value that you add to society in exchange for a share of the resources. That is who you are to me. You are what you do to everyone that doesn't know you. Once they get to know you, once you become friends, you're a set of values and behaviors, words and deeds. Make sense? But all of that meaning is tied up in two major ingredients: purpose and significance. Purpose is the human need to do. All of us. We are all the product of 10,000 successful generations of survival and adaptation. And every single one of those generations got things done. That's how they earned us the right to be born. But it's not enough to do, like you could dig a hole and then fill it in again, and that's doing something, but it's not really, progressive, it's not meaningful. So meaning is not just the need to do, but it's the need to matter. What we do needs to matter. It needs to be important. Who does it need to be important to?
Yourself.
Yeah. And the people around you, the people on your economic tribe. That's what this is, by the way. That's what DOF is. And make no mistake, this organization doesn't exist. How many employees are there in DOF total?
400, let's say 400 some.
400 something. So let's say that DOF is a combination of 400 and something families, each of which sends a representative every day to play an economic game called the Abu Dhabi Finance Game. As a team, you play this game every day. It's an economic game. It's like football or chess or automotive or luxury shoes or oil and gas, right? It's just a game. All the rules of that game were made up. They were made up by people not smarter than you, and the rules will change over time. It's just a game. You're just a player. But if you play a good game and you play a good role and you find meaning, not in the what you do, because let's face it, Cristiano Ronaldo is not excited about kicking a ball around on grass. Okay? It's not the what, it's who you're with and why you're there. And that is attached to significance. That need for purpose and significance. That is meaning. So now, with all of that, I want you to answer two questions. Why are you here? And why are you here? Well, this is half of your life every day, right? I don't know how many days Allah has given you in your life. I just know that once today is gone, it is never coming back. And anything that any one of Allah's creatures does with half of their life every day should be as meaningful as possible, no? So, why are you here? You made a choice at some point to put half of your life every day into this economic team. Why?
I thrive on events.
Sorry?
I thrive on events.
You thrive on events. This gives you an opportunity to do something that you really like and you're good at. And it's an exchange of value, which then you can bring back to your family. And you build a career that you like. Brilliant. That's amazing.
Not only that, but also the type of events, because it's different from the corporate or commercial events. It's about people and, touch on human centricity.
Amazing.
And engagement. So when you ask that question, like, are you excited about coming to work?
Yeah.
So when I feel so excited, is it us cannot sleep of excitement.
Amazing. Yes. Yeah. That's amazing. That's really good. Why are you here? Yeah.
I like to saw government province.
Brilliant.
Consults.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, at the very basic level, right? All of you are here because this is the result of every choice you've ever made in your entire life. You got you here, right? There's no victims. There's no slaves in here. You can leave whenever you want. Nobody tricked you into getting here. Okay, so you're completely empowered. Why are you here?
A good place to work.
Yeah, it's a good place to work. Why? People are good? The temperature is right?
No, it's better.
And the food's good, right? The food's nice. That's good. Why are you here and not somewhere else? That's the first question. And that is the result of every decision you've ever made. And you are not an idiot. Remember, you are an apex predator. You are the most dangerous, most intelligent animal on the planet. And you are the product of 10,000 successful iterations of an improving design. You are here because this is the best, fastest, most effective way that you know of to achieve your personal goals for your personal life. Because only an idiot would be doing what they know is not the best, fastest, most effective way for them to achieve their personal goals. Make sense? If I want you to be selfish in the best possible way, I want you to think about your personal goals. And now I want you to answer, why are you here and not someone else? We're not that special, right? There's 1,000 people with your CV, but none of them are in your chair. So why were you chosen? Allah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. It was designed, yes.
Because I see we were problem somewhere else before.
Yeah, you have experience. You were picked because of your... Well, see, this is interesting because how many people were interviewed for your job?
I would like
You wouldn't know, right? Who's here from HR? Anybody here from HR? Alisa, can you tell me, for a mid-level management position, typically how many interviews do we do for a role?
For a role, I would think for a mid-level,
Yeah.
people who will go into advanced stages,
Yeah.
5 to 7.
Perfect. This is great. How many of those 7 people are unqualified for the job?
Or except for when it's a vacancy.
Yeah, correct. Every one of the people that was interviewed for your job was already qualified. We don't waste our time or the manager's time interviewing people that are not qualified for the job. Fundamentally, in every organization in the world that I have ever seen, we do not hire qualified people. We interview them. We hire a kind of qualified person. Somebody who was sitting across from you in that interview, maybe a manager, maybe a HR representative, looked at somebody else on that panel and said, oh, you know what? That Lama, she's a good fit. She's the kind of person that we're looking for. And it's those things, good fit, kind of person. I don't see those on my LinkedIn page. It doesn't matter how long it is. It's not on your CV. It's not on your LinkedIn. And that is why you are here. You are here and not someone else because it's you and not someone else. Everyone we interviewed was qualified. Feel special? Mm-hmm. All right. That is meaning. It's very easy to do. As a manager, as a leader, very easy to help people to connect with their why and their who. Why are they here? Mostly for reasons that have nothing to do with this building. Mostly for reasons that have nothing to do with the daily tasks. It's okay. What do you want? You want a nice car? Want a big house? Want to give your kids the education options of their choice? Want to take care of your parents? Fine. This is the game you play in order to be able to do it. Everybody's here for the same reasons. They have nothing to do with banking or finance or Excel. Make sense? Good. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is going to be easy for you so far? If we consider that this is just an economic game and all the rules are made up and we're just players in the game, but we're working together to feed each other's families and take care of each other's kids, how will that change the way you manage your team?
Care more about those things.
Yes. Yeah, care more about those things. Go ahead. Empathize. Every member of your team is an apex predator too. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were having your hand up.
Not yet.
So what are the implications for your management? If you think that every member of your team is now an apex predator, every one of them was chosen not because of their CV, but because of who they are. Every one of them is here for reasons that have nothing to do with the building or anything that we do here. They're here for their own careers. They're here for their families. They're here to play a part in an economic team, on an economic game for their own reasons. Everyone is the same. How does that change the way you lead?
It's a common ground,
Yeah,
shared values.
that's right. It's what everybody knows, but nobody says. We're not here because we love banking. It's okay. Do you think anybody in ADNOC is in love with oil and gas? You think, goodness, no. I know all of the executives in ADNOC, and I guarantee not one of them is waking up every day going, oh, I'm just so passionate about pulling oil from the ground. You know, moving it around the world. Yes, let's do that. That's the truth. If you connect with that truth, if you help your people to connect with their purpose for being here, which is outside of here, okay? This means as a manager, as a leader, you have to focus on things that are not part of the job and not in the building. You focus on their kids, you focus on their dreams, on their career path. What do they want out of life? And why is this the most effective step for them to be in right now? Focus on their selfishness. Then refocus them on the team. The most effective way for you to achieve those goals that you have for your personal life is to be here, because this is where you are. And your path to wherever you want to be Minister of Government, fine. You want to be the CEO of Bugatti, fine. Whatever your career path is, it has to start in this room because this is where you actually are. So how can we use where you are and who you are to develop you to become the kind of person where you get to achieve that dream? How can we do that? What kinds of questions can we ask of our teammates in order to get there?
What are we good at? Discuss with them.
Yeah. What are you good at? What do you enjoy? What resources do you need? What does your career path look like? Some of you will not retire here. It's not a secret. But what do you want? What are you wanting to learn while you're here? Does it make sense to you? Okay, you're very quiet. Are they always this quiet?
Not always.
Not always. Okay, that's it. From now on, we're gonna move to the next conversation. But from now on, we're gonna play a game. Okay? So I brought 5 copies of 2 of my books. I'm not selling these to you. I'm not promoting them to you. I don't need your money. This is Business is Personal. This is Love at Work. Whenever anybody, one of your colleagues, says something that's really insightful and really cool, or asks an amazing, good, high-quality question, you have the opportunity to nominate them for a free book. Okay? You can't nominate yourself because that's not fun, right? But if you're playing the game, if you hear one of your colleagues say something really cool, really insightful, or ask a really deep question, you say, I nominate them. Then they get to come up and take one of my books, and I will sign them for you afterwards. But this is just to help you engage. Okay, I want to hear your cool thoughts.
And the person
No, we can't do that. You're definitely going to get a book though. Like you're so engaging. Somebody's going to nominate you, right? All right, our second conversation. We've got 5 conversations to go through. Is goal setting for Apex productivity. Remember, all of this is built on the foundation of the fact that you are the product of 1 million years of successful survival and adaptation, at least 1,000 of which have been very, very enlightening, right? So the last number of hundreds of generations of your family survived. They made it work. They made it work by getting things done, and they made it work by getting hard things done. That's how we got to the moon. That's how we did the Industrial Revolution. That's how we invented artificial intelligence. We did difficult things. Humans are very, very good at doing difficult things. So why is it that when we talk about productivity and KPIs, we shy away from difficult things? If I am the product of 1,000 generations of the most successful apex predator on the planet, why am I so shy when it comes to KPI season?
Copy the previous year KPIs.
Yeah, exactly. How many of you do that? Copy, add 5%, whatever, right? What's your general markup from year on year? Is it 7% here? Is it 5%? What's your markup? 10%, 50%?
I mark up for the Department of Finance.
Yeah, see? This is the thing. We are all incredibly talented, skilled, educated, highly developed individuals. So is everybody on your team. Okay, and also think on your life about those things that you're most proud of. Were they easy?
Yeah.
No. So, if it's easy, are we going to be proud? If it's easy, are we going to be developed? No. I think probably we should start treating each other like apex predators. That's what I think. I think we should treat each other like the most dangerous, most intelligent animals on the planet. Okay, and that's not an excuse for you to just be mean. I'm going to teach you how to do this. But when we're setting really high, hard goals, we need to look at these 5 things. SMART. Have you known SMART? Have you all learned SMART? That's good. Okay, thank you. Co-authored. How many of you feel disempowered when you are given a KPI and you do not have the opportunity to negotiate or respond? Me too. When you are imposed a goal and you do not have the opportunity to discuss it, it's disempowering. What happens to your level of commitment to that goal then? It goes down. Then if your level of commitment goes down, what happens to your level of effort? It goes down. That's correct. And if you feel disempowered by your manager because they have imposed a goal on you that you did not negotiate, then how do you feel about your manager? Yeah. Disengaged, disempowered. The thing is, everybody on your team are also apex predators. What do apex predators do when they are not being managed?
They hunt.
They do whatever they want. They're not being managed, okay? Yeah, and how often are you managing your team? 5% of the time? 3%? How much time are you actually spending with your team? Maybe 5%, am I right? Okay, so what are they doing the other 95% of the time? Whatever they want. They're the smartest, most dangerous animals on the planet, and they have access to your network, your honor, your name, your reports, your data, your clients, okay? They have access to all those things, and they're not being managed. That's dangerous. That's super dangerous. So what do we do about that?
We define goals
Yeah.
and then monitor the goal setting
Correct.
and achieve it.
Correct.
And then you track it, and you give them space to develop themselves and develop the goals.
Yeah. But the very first part of that, the foundation of all of that,
Is a co-authored plan, and it's aligned with also their objectives.
that's right. They have to be involved. You cannot impose a KPI on an apex predator and expect them just to go with it. They will smile and lie to your face, and then they will sabotage you during the 95% of the time when they are not being managed. Make sense? They have to be involved, just like you have to be involved. And if your boss is not behaving well, that's not an excuse for you to treat your people badly. This stops with us. This is our generation is the last one that will treat their people badly. We're going to treat our people like apex predators. Okay, we're going to involve them in the goal setting. We're going to set high, hard goals, and I'll teach you how to do that on the next slide. When we set those high, hard goals, they will walk out feeling empowered. Have you ever done something really difficult and been really energized by the idea of it? Okay, yeah, like what? Something big that took a lot of effort.
Running a marathon.
Running a marathon, perfect. Yeah. Do you start a marathon really excited? Yeah. You end a marathon really excited? Yeah. How do you feel in the middle of the marathon? Like in the very middle. Are you excited? No. It's the same in every area of your life. If you look, like you said, my LinkedIn page is really, it's big. I've done 4 postgraduate degrees. I've published 8 books. I've raised 5 kids. I've built 5 companies. I've been bankrupt twice, and I've buried 2 other companies. I've lived on 3 different continents. I've worked in 30 different countries and 150 plus companies. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but I do it because it's hard. And I do it because I'm 1 million years old. I was designed for hard things. So are you. And the hard can be energizing if it's correctly authored. It has to be co-authored, right? It has to follow the challenge, skills, balance, and confidence building process, which I'm going to share with you now, okay? Aligned with personal vision means you talk to them about their selfish goals, their goals that are outside of this building. What are your goals? What does your career trajectory look like? What do you want for your kids? What do you want for your family? Connect what they're doing today with the reason why they're actually here, and you will get a higher KPI out of them. And same with you. Almost nothing I've done in my life that has been very, very fulfilling was easy. Writing books, postgraduate degrees, learning languages, raising kids, it's hard. It's about 15% joy and 85% really hard work. It's the middle of the marathon. Make sense? Yeah. This is how you raise your KPIs and those of your team. The challenge, skills, balance. This is rule number 1. Rule number 2 is confidence. Right. Rule number 1, you have to balance difficulty and skill. If a human, any human, in any game, economic or otherwise, is doing something that's very, very difficult and they don't have the skill to do it, they will be stressed. If they're not confident in their ability or they don't have the ability to do it, it's just anxiety. But on the same token, if they've got a lot of skill but they're not being challenged, they're just going to be bored. So the low end of difficulty and skill is boredom. The high end of difficulty and skill is anxiety. And this is true of parenting, of writing, of doing your work, leading a presentation, public speaking, anything that you do. When you learned to drive the very first time, you had low skill and it was high difficulty, and now it's here. Okay? Over time, it became exciting, and then your level of skill went up. The level of difficulty in driving has not changed very much over the years, so now you text. Because you have lots of other attention you can give to texting while you drive, because it's boring. It's no longer compelling for you. Do you see this in the setting of your KPIs with your team? I want you to make a mental note. I'm going to give you these slides, okay? So you don't have to worry about this. I see you taking pictures. I love that. Love that energy. It's good. I want you to think of a KPI that you can adjust higher or lower to meet someone on your team's either anxiety or boredom. You can smell it. You know that they're stressed. What can we do? How do we adjust that KPI or that expectation? They're bored. You know they're bored. What can we do? How do we adjust that KPI or expectation to get them back here? Sorry? That's correct. If they're bored, we make it harder. If they're stressed, we offer more resources. Make sense? We have to find that balance. Otherwise, you're not going to get yourself or your team at optimum performance in terms of productivity. Can you think of a couple of KPIs that you'd like to adjust? Yeah? Does somebody want to give me an example?
Just as an example,
Please.
we have some delivery for, well, I don't know, somebody from real estate. It's here? No, Shannon is laughing. Because we have to deliver something, and the notion that I work in technology is that we're so competent technically that it's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
If it's not at use, the value is 0.
Yeah.
So, okay, just we reduce the increase the constraint and say, okay, at the end of next week, this needs to be in production and aligned with the user.
That's right.
So that I reduce the level of resources, and the resource here is time.
Yes, I see that.
And by reducing the resource time, I increase the difficulty. So it gives an extra push.
That's right.
The rush of adrenaline in order to achieve that goal.
That's what we're looking for, is the rush of adrenaline.
Can we nominate Philip for a book?
Yeah, definitely. Philip, come get your book. You take your pick. Do you? Yeah, right? Please choose.
Love, always.
Always love, yeah. Good choice. Thank you, Ibrahim. Yeah, that's perfect. It's amazing. You reduce the time constraint to increase the level of difficulty, and what happens? When humans are in this place, they're energized. There's no anxiety here. There's no boredom here. This is why Tetris is still a fun game. Anybody played Tetris? Okay. Tetris has only 5 pieces. Each of those 5 pieces has only 4 positions. It is a very simple game. What makes Tetris interesting? Why do we keep playing it?
Get harder.
Why does it get harder?
Getting better.
Yeah, it gets faster. We do the same thing in less time. The Tetris principle is what keeps it fun. If you want to take the mundane and make it interesting, give yourself a deadline that you're only 80% sure you can meet. Then go. This is true of everything, including Tetris, including driving. Yes?
How does that change when you have a task like you order a we can use like Gen AI to get that done? Like how do we
More,
change that equation?
yeah, exactly. More transactions, AI transactions within the same period of time, or you have the same number of AI transactions in a shorter period of time. You speed it up. Imagine being able to do your job in 10% of the time. What would you do with all of the other time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But at least the 10% is fun. And then you become a resource to your team that you can do other things with. You can learn something, develop yourself, look at your career, figure out how to use the role that you're in to catapult you to that next step. Because we know you're not going to retire here. Maybe. The odds are pretty good. What's the average tenure in DOF? 8 years? 9?
I think longer than you, right? We will work 6 years.
4 to 6 years. Wow. Okay. That's all right.
The new term.
That's the new trend. Yeah, that's good.
We had a lot of people recently which reduced the average.
I see. Before that, what was it?
It was probably 10 to 12.
Okay. Still. And some people 20, some people 30. Yeah.
Very long.
Yeah. Still, a decade. You've got 4 decades to work. One of those decades is here. Chances are pretty good you're not going to retire from here or die here. So we know you're leaving. It's not a secret. It's what everybody knows and nobody says. What I want to know is where are you going and how can I help you get there by playing really well here? How can I develop you to be the most excellent player you can be? I want to find your challenge, skills, balance. And then I'm going to leverage this challenge, skills, balance to build your confidence. What is confidence, by the way? This is the last one in KPI setting. What is confidence?
Faith.
Faith? Maybe?
Like gut feeling.
Like gut feeling?
Believing in yourself.
Believing in yourself. It is a skill. How many of you have kids? Do you have kids? I have 5 kids. You got kids? You got young kids? All right. So you remember watching your kids learn to walk? They're horrible at it. They are terrible. They do not come out of the womb knowing how to walk. It takes them a year just to figure out that they can do it. They've been watching adults move around a long time. Plus, walking is a very complex movement. You've got like 2 joints here, 2 in the knees, 2 in your ankles, like 1 billion of them in your toes. Like it's a lot to try to control all of that, right? So when my son started walking for the first time, my son, mashallah, he's 23 now, he's like this tall. But he was very small, and so he'd stand up, and he was going to try and walk, right? So at some point, he's holding onto the table, and he lets go of the table, and then he falls over, because that's what they do, right? So he didn't look up at me and say, "Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry. I failed. I don't need to walk. It's fine. I've seen on TV, there's people that don't walk. I can get one of those chairs with the wheels on it," right? And his mom and I didn't look down at him and say, "Gabriel, you know what? You gave it a good shot. It's fine. We'll take care of you. You don't need to walk. Now we've got technology that can augment, right? You can just be one of those humans that doesn't walk." No, that's ridiculous. Children aren't born knowing how to fail. They learn that. We are not born knowing how to fail. We learn that. Confidence is a skill. It's the skill of thinking you can do it and trying, and then learning from an unexpected or an undesired outcome. Failure is the choice, the conscious choice, to forego the learning opportunity that comes from that undesired or unexpected outcome. We learn to fail. It is a skill that is taught to us by someone who loves us, usually a parent, a teacher, an older sibling who says, "You know what, Philip, maybe ice hockey is not for you. You can stop trying now." And that's when we learn to fail. Before that, every one of us learned to walk by failing a lot and learning how not to do it and then getting up and doing it again. And we do that by following the 4% rule and building our confidence with the positivity bias. This is your actual ability to walk. If you do not have the actual ability to walk, but you think you have the actual ability to walk, Your perceived ability is higher than your actual ability, which is arrogance. Okay, that's not confidence, that's arrogance. If you don't think you have the ability to walk, but you do, that's cowardice. We have words for this. Confidence is the accurate judgment of your ability as being commensurate to the expectation of whatever it is you're going to attempt. If you think you can do it, and you're right, that's confidence. Have you ever watched America's Got Talent or one of those singing shows where somebody just horrible stands up and sings and everybody's laughing at them? Yes, that is not confidence. That is arrogance. That's why we laugh. Make sense? Yes, go ahead.
Question on confidence. How is the link between confidence and challenging yourself? Because sometimes you have new duties or new activities that you are confident to trust in yourself. Yeah, you can make it despite that I knew.
Yes, this is where I'm going. It's perfect. Exactly right. Great segue. 4%. The rule is 4%. If you can lift 100 kilograms and you've only ever lifted 100 kilograms, but you are confident that you can lift more, how much should you try to lift? 150? 101. The magic number in psychology is 4. If you do something that you perceive as 4% more difficult than anything you've ever done before in any human domain, you drive 4% faster, you run 4% faster, you speak 4% better, you hand in the report 4% more accurate, whatever it is, if your subjective judgment is 4%, you will gain confidence from it. And your success rate is going to be very high. It is very likely that you will succeed and you will gain confidence. If you only try something that's 1% harder, you'll probably succeed, but you're not going to gain confidence from it. There's not enough of a differentiator. Does that make sense? One of the great guys, sorry, go ahead.
Because it is easy if I plan for myself. It's difficult when I plan to come for for others.
Perfect.
Can you know this?
Have you asked them? How can we ask? It's easy for me to judge for myself what's 4% harder, right? If every member of my team is also an apex predator, maybe it's easy for them too. We could ask.
What is the other skill that they don't know is skill and they don't want to trust it?
If they don't know the skill and they don't want to practice it, and it is required for their job, then they're in the wrong job. Remember, the team is more important than any member of the team. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, the tribe is more important than any member of the tribe, including the sheikh. Every sheikh knows this. It is not different on economic tribes. We need you to play a part, a position. This is an economic game. It has economic rules, and yes, the rules were made up, but we all agree on them, more or less. We agree that these are the rules by which we'll play. And we need you to play a part. We need you to be a good player, because all of our families eat from this table.
You think we have to be aware about it ourselves to face these challenges of
this compass?
Yes. I think it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility as a father to make sure that I'm challenging my kids to develop themselves. It is my responsibility as a father to make sure that I'm not putting so much pressure on them that the difficulty level is so high that they become anxious and afraid of me because of my expectations. It is my responsibility of a father to make sure that I am challenging them in a way that's not so light and so easy for them that they become bored and distracted and lazy. That is my responsibility. It is my responsibility as a manager to do the same for those that are in my care, in my economic tribe. What do you think? That is your job, or at least part of it. Do you think it's your job to develop the people that are on your team? Okay, good, good. How are we going to do that if we don't know what they're capable of? And we can't know what they're capable of unless we challenge them and see what happens. You'll see it. You'll see it. You'll give them a challenge and they'll say, oh. Then you'll know, maybe we tune it down a little bit. Or maybe it's just exciting enough that it's like going from level 68 to level 69 on Tetris. It's just a little bit faster. It's 4% faster, 4% harder, 4% more accurate. And if you don't know what that 4% looks like, you know how to do it for yourself. Probably every member of your team knows how to do it for themselves too. You can ask, how do we make this 4% more difficult so that we can get you excited about it again? I want you to be excited when you come to work, not about what you do, but I want you to be excited to be on my team because I'm excited that you're on my team.
Rewards.
Sorry?
Rewards.
Rewards. Most of what I've given you now, actually everything that I've given you up until now, has nothing to do with carrots or sticks. There are no rewards in anything that I've given you. All of the motivation theory is intrinsic. It's tied to personal goals, selfishness on teams, career development.
It's sell a vision as well. So if you sell a vision, but more, say, encouraged to get that 4% up.
Yes.
And you believe that you can go maybe even more than 4.
Yeah.
And the confidence goes to arrogance. That's important, but it's okay. It's a balance.
Yeah. Well, I was showing on the previous slide here. We didn't talk about it much, but the reason the human race continues to develop at lightning speeds is because we have a positivity bias. We think, I think I can cross the ocean, and then we try, and then we cross the ocean. We think, I can probably invent a computer. And then we try, and then we do it. It's the positivity bias of thinking that we can do something that we've never done or that nobody's ever done. Every Olympic athlete does that. When they go to the Olympics, they think, I think I can break the world record. Do you know what a world record is? It is the very definition of the maximum known human capacity in that particular discipline. The largest, fastest, strongest thing that has ever been done in that particular activity. That's a world record. And yet Olympic athletes go into the Olympics thinking, I can break that. That is a positivity bias. We think, we can get to the moon, and then we do it. And now we're thinking maybe we can get to Mars, so we're going to get there. We good?
But if you challenge them with something difficult, then you care.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I would rather you fail than not try. I would rather my kid fall down than stop trying to walk. That's how he learned to walk. That's how I learned to walk.
But then you have to change the goal or
No, failure is what happens when you decide not to try again. Missing a goal is not a big deal. That is how we learned to get to the moon. We broke things. That is how every company learns to survive. It breaks things. That is how we learn to walk. We learn to drive. That is how you got your job. Is anybody here perfect?
No.
Okay, so why do we have that expectation of our people? I'm expecting my people to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes with me, you're not trying hard enough. At least not to be on my team. We'll come back to that. So this is what you need to know. Goals should be smart. They need to be co-authored. They need to be aligned with their personal vision for their personal life. I cannot stress that enough. Get their head out of DOF and into their life and connect what they're doing today and who they're with today to those goals. They need to be challenge skills balanced so they're not bored and they're not anxious. And they need to be 4% harder than anything they've ever done before. Questions about that? Are we good? Okay. Does anybody need to take a break? Take a nap? No? We're good? Okay. All right. Managerial excellence. I'm going to give you some of my best tools now for managing tasks. Because once you give your team tasks to manage, then things to do, you need to remember that you gave them things to do, right? So how do great managers do that? How do great managers manage?
Motivation.
Motivation, making sure they're intrinsically motivated. Right? Yes?
I need time for the book.
Oh, yeah. Hey! Yeah, stand up. Come. Please choose a book. Fantastic. My pleasure.
Oh, no, that's slow. I will not slow with the noon.
That's exactly right. We need them to be motivated. They're not motivated to work for you. Okay? It's not a secret. They're motivated to work for themselves. That's why you're here. Nobody works for me. Everybody works with me. Everybody works for themselves. Okay? You're working for yourself. As soon as this isn't the best way for you to achieve your personal goals for your personal life, you'll go work somewhere else, which is a better way. Make sense? Okay, so all of your people are in exactly the same boat. They do not work for you. They work with you. They work for themselves. So let's just be honest about that. We'll put it all on the table, and then we'll just leverage that motivation.
Another angle is what
Yeah, go ahead.
diversity, the purpose, the connectivity that, we're working for the future generation prosperity. I'm proud to be, a doc, so the motivation.
Exactly.
I'm a tough employee. I contribute and I work with all government entities.
Yeah,
This could also add to the personal motivation.
absolutely. That is significance. Remember we talked about purpose and significance, right? What is the definition of significance? The need to matter, yes. Who decides what matters? They do. Yes. The reason your answer is correct is because you said it. It's not my reason for being here, but it's your reason for being here. That is your motivation, and therefore it is correct. Yeah. What I'm trying to help you to see is that as leaders, the most important meaning that you can create for your team is the meaning that they create by being on your team. Because they create it. The more meaning they can create for themselves in being with you, working with you on this team for themselves, for their kids, for their parents, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What matters is it's meaningful to them. Whatever is meaningful to them as motivation, that is the most important meaning that there is.
Is a Krishna sense of ownership.
Correct.
So that by involvement.
Yeah, and it's free. You don't have to increase their salary to get that.
That's pretty.
Mm.
No, yeah, think about it.
It's cool, right? You don't have to change their job title to do that. You can actually leave their salary and job title exactly as it is and increase the KPIs if they find their job meaningful for their own reasons, because they don't work for you, they work for themselves, just like you. You don't work for your boss, you work for yourself. Your boss is under the illusion that you work for your boss. Isn't it a wonderful illusion? We okay? All right, good. So let's talk about what great managers do. I'm going to give you 3 really quick tips, all right? These are very practical. Regular contact, Kanban-based task management, and great 101s, which I'll give you the anatomy of. And I will give you these slides, so you can write them down if you want to, but you don't have to. Regular contact. Daily check-in with each of your direct reports, okay? Contact of some kind, WhatsApp, email, phone, doesn't matter. There has to be some level of communication on a daily basis with everyone that reports to you directly. Weekly, direct eye contact. That means when you're sitting in a one-on-one, preferably, unless they're remote working, we're like this, okay? We have 1 million years of building trust by making eye contact, okay? There's a whole science behind eye contact and the amount of trust that you build when you make eye contact. If you make eye contact for less than 2 seconds, maybe you don't trust them, or maybe they don't trust you. You don't want to have that relationship, right? But if you make eye contact for more than 2 seconds, then it builds relationship. But don't make eye contact for more than 9 seconds, okay? Because that's really weird, right? Like, that's dangerous, Yeah. If an apex predator is making eye contact with you for 9 seconds, it's like, oh, what is this? What does he want, So yeah, weekly direct eye contact, even if it's just for a few moments. Okay, that helps to build that relationship. What happens in the brain of you and your employee is the production of oxytocin. Anybody heard of that chemical before? The neurochemical of oxytocin is the only way that you have ever registered trust, belonging, shared values, love, all of that. Eye contact produces oxytocin. So weekly eye contact, daily connection of some kind, and you got to get the monthly town hall. How many of you run a monthly town hall with your staff? Yeah? 1, 2, few of you? What is a town hall meeting?
Okay, have a weekly team meeting. We have big tasks, but not just building the team relationship.
Yeah.
together.
Good.
We do this, but they didn't.
Good.
But I kept the ways.
Excellent. Now, who does the speaking during a town hall? Anyone that's not the manager. The most important information in a town hall is the information that you as the manager do not have. That's the most important information. It's more important than the information you have because you already have the information you have. So to you, being selfish, being greedy, being effective as a manager, the most important information is the stuff that you don't know because you already know what you know. How do you figure out what you don't know? Yeah. Who was it? Peter Drucker said the most important ingredient in active listening is a closed mouth. To that, I will add 2 other things which do not involve opening your mouth. One is care, and the other is curiosity. If you care about the human that is in front of you speaking, it will make it easier for you to keep your mouth closed. And if you are curious about what they're saying means to them, you will ask better questions. That will improve the quality of information that you have. Even if you never speak, you will walk out of the room with all of the information you walked in with and with all of the information they were willing to share.
But wouldn't this mean that the town hall is done in the interest of the manager, not in the interest of everyone?
Correct.
Stressing the fact that, this is what you need as a manager, but the town hall is actually not only for the manager, it's for everyone, right?
It is for everyone. Yeah, everybody gets benefit from it, but the manager benefits the most. The longest, the amount the manager benefits is directly correlated with the amount they talk or don't talk. The more a manager talks, the less benefit everybody's going to get from it.
But the less benefit the manager does.
Correct.
But actually, potentially, the other participants of the download will actually get more benefit.
All of them will raise their level of information, the quality of information they have. That is correct. But they will raise it by one source, not by many. Yes?
Usually what we do, we split it into 2 parts. For one part where we make a number, the management side, and then one part where the team gets to speak and ask questions, and we actually listen and take note.
Yeah.
Is there always go?
If you're just downloading information, no, it's not a good way. You can download information by email. Okay? If you're going to be in front of people, do something emotive. Do something fun, crazy, celebrate something, mourn something, at least do something emotional. If it's just information sharing, you can do that in text. Text is wooden. Text is one way. If you've got a monologue to deliver it by email.
Let me nominate Yasin for asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, good one. Come on. Great question. Come, brother. Hold on. See, look, everybody wants to talk about love. Yeah. Right? Okay, I read like 100 books a year, okay? And I read everything I can find on leadership. I read about, everybody in leadership talks about shared values and belonging and psychological safety and empathy in leadership, right? Trust, respect. But nobody talks about the highest form of any of those things. The highest form of discretionary effort is love. That is the discretionary effort that I offer to my children, to my wife, to my parents. That is the highest level of discretionary effort. I'm willing to sacrifice my life for them because I love them. The highest form of trust, respect, belonging, shared values, the highest form of I'm going to watch your back and I'm going to share my resources with you. The highest form of what earned you the right to be born is love. All of your ancestors earned you the right to be born by knowing who loved them and knowing who didn't. It is not a spiritual concept. It is a psychological best practice for survival, and we have kicked it out of the office. I think we'll be more profitable if we bring it back in. Wouldn't it be better, don't you think, Even if you never said it, you don't have to say it. It's fine. You don't have to say it. But wouldn't it be better if you were working with a bunch of people that you secretly loved? I think so too. Yeah. I did a talk on love at work at DIFC in Dubai. It was hilarious. Also a very kind of like regimented organization. They had a problem with the word. They were really allergic to the word. I enjoyed that very much. Right, so monthly town hall, during which you should be as emotionally connecting as you can and say as little as you can get away with. Okay, the highest quality of information in the room is the stuff you don't know. Good. Kanban-based task management. For those who need a tool, this is what I use. I don't use Trello anymore. I use Monday because it's got a lot more options for it. But Trello is free, so I'm introducing it to you. Anybody here use Trello? Do you really? For task management? Oh, that's fantastic. When you assign something to one of your teammates, right? I've got Amy up here. This is Amy, by the way. She's on my team. She's my business manager. She's not a financial analyst. I think she would be actually really terrible at financial analysis, right, Amy? But she's great with people. Yeah, she's a very people person. So when I task, this is not actually Amy, but when I task somebody with something to do, I put that task on a Kanban list. It's a very easy way to organize what I've tasked people to do, sometimes the due dates by which they need to be done, and then I can order them in terms of priority. This is ongoing, this is urgent, and this can wait if there's stuff coming up. It's not a priority. And I can reorder these things, but what it means is when I'm about to step into a one-on-one meeting with one of my teammates, I can look at it and go, all right, now I remember. These are the things that were assigned. I want progress on these things. What are you dealing with? And during the one-on-one, we can cover. Where are your roadblocks? What are the resources you need? How can I help? And then if there's anything else that's assigned, I have one place where all of it is located. Trello is very easy to learn, by the way. And again, I will send these slides to you. All right. Getting the one-on-one right. How many of you do one-on-one meetings with your team every week, as I suggested? Yeah? Good. Do you have a format? What's your format?
So we go through what we agreed to do, but if you do this, any roadblock, you need help. Anything you want to discuss, and then leave or time off.
Excellent. How long is your one-on-one usually?
10 to 15.
10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, it's tight, but you can do a lot in 15 minutes. Remember, if it's not... Correct. Yeah, so getting the one-on-one, this is my recommendation. Weekly in person, as I've said, both bring 5 points. No more, no less. They bring 5 points to talk about, you bring 5 points to talk about. The most important points are the ones that overlap. Yes?
I will portion on a daily basis. You have a lot of thoughts, lots of interactions with the team and up. Then in the same time, having a week the one-on-one wouldn't be too much. To not stand spending the same day.
I don't think so. The thing is, when you're doing interactions like this on a daily basis, it's a bit like a football team playing a football game. They're passing the ball back and forth. Yes, there's a lot of communication on the field, but they still meet together as a team. They still meet one-on-one with each other to discuss, with the team captain about their individual performance. Don't mistake gameplay for training. This is training. When you're in a one-on-one, this is your opportunity to discuss personal development. Not for you, for them. Okay? You're helping them to develop. You're helping them to achieve their career goals, their aspirations. You're helping them to achieve their KPIs. It is your job to provide them all of the resources they need to achieve those things. That is empowerment. That's your job. You're a service provider.
Can I nominate my neighbor, please?
Yeah, please. Yeah, come on. Come get your book.
Yes, we'll take all these books from Dr. Corrie.
Yeah. We got to get rid of all of them. Sada. Let's go. Allah yaftah. All right. So very quickly, start with the matching items first. Whatever's overlapping, those are the most important things. Then whatever is remaining on their list comes next. Because if you talk about what's remaining on your list next, what are they going to be thinking about?
That you're not gonna talk about their spouse.
They're going to be thinking about how much time is left over to talk about what's important to them. Hmm. Yes. They're not listening to you anymore. Okay, so you're wasting time anyway. You might as well talk about what's important to them first. That gets it out of their head. Then, if we've discussed everything that's important to both of us and everything that's important to you, are you more or less likely to pay attention when we talk about what's remaining on my list? You'll be more receptive because I've taken care of you first. Right? Good. Then, big 4 topics: performance requirements, relationships with peers, leadership development, and innovation. Innovation we're going to get to, but those are the big 4 topics you want to cover is how are we doing on performance, how are you doing in relationships, how are you doing in leadership, and where are you innovating? And innovating requires failure, by the way. I'm sorry. Failure is a necessary ingredient in innovation. All right, so that's what great managers do. They have regular contact, they have Kanban-based task management, and they manage great one-on-ones. I think we've got one more conversation to go through. Good. Empowerment through accountability. Right. Accountability is empowerment. Credibility is feedback, honor, and shame. Oh yeah, we're going to discuss honor and shame and feedback. Yeah, I want to get to that. And critical friend. This is your job as a leader. Can you tell me what is... let's do this. What is empowerment?
He supports. That's not.
Yeah. Asked you to do it, go ahead and do it.
Good. Yeah, good. There's a common misconception that it is resources, responsibility. Resources and responsibility is not empowerment. If you give them all of the resources and you give them the responsibility, that is an assignment. Okay? Empowerment is a combination of, let's use a different color here, authority and accountability. If there is no authority, there is no empowerment. So we use the word, but we don't like its ingredients. How many of you found this in your work? Yes. How many of you actually feel empowered? Do you have the authority and the accountability? Good. That's perfect. How many of you would say that your team would say the same about you?
Empowered.
Yes. Yeah. See? It's so hard, right? It's so hard. But we know this. We know this to be a fact, right? Resources and responsibility is just an assignment. Anybody can do this. You give this to a kid in class. That's their homework. That's an assignment. You give them the resources. You give them the responsibility. But if you want to empower people, it's a combination of authority and accountability. Do you know where authority comes from in an organization?
Getting nothing.
That is exactly right. It comes from the top. It comes from the owners. The owners have all of the authority. In a company, it's shareholders. Here, it's the royal family. The owners have all of the authority, and they delegate that authority. If they want to empower their people, they pass the authority down. The authority then gets passed down, then passed down, then passed down. If we find the authority stops going down, what do we find? What happens there if somebody doesn't have any authority? Micromanagement. They are disempowered. Correct. And what happens to their level of performance and productivity when they feel disempowered? It goes down. What does an apex predator do when they feel disempowered? Whatever they want. Yes. There is also an exchange that happens in every organization. When authority goes down, there's another currency that flows up. Anyone tell me what it is?
Dissent?
Not quite.
Can you repeat the question?
When authority is flowing down, it is exchanged for another currency. Another currency, close. It's information.
information.
Mm-hmm. Who has the highest quality of information in an organization?
The workers.
The customer. Your customers, which are other organizations. The people in those organizations, they know what they need, okay? And they have the highest quality of information on what they actually need, and you make the judgment about how to get those resources to them. The highest quality of information isn't there. They know their bank balance. The highest quality of information is out there. And it is exchanged in an organization from the person who serves the customer all the way up to the CEO or the owner. As authority goes down, information comes up. When an employee feels disempowered because they do not have the authority to do what they need to do, they punish their manager by withholding the information that their manager needs to make higher quality decisions. That is how they punish you for withholding authority. Make sense? That is the currency that they have. They don't have any other currency. They can't punish you another way. So they withhold information and sabotage your success. Yeah. But when authority flows down, people feel empowered, the information comes up. Anybody feel that? Now, as soon as I say it out loud, it sounds right, right?
This is it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, it's the same. The information that we need is down there. The authority that they need is up there. Our job as managers is to do this. Good? Right. So accountability, then the last ingredient, accountability, is feedback and consequence. Ooh, feedback. Feedback sucks, right? Feedback is horrible. It's always bad, right? Has anybody ever said, good job?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, that's also feedback. Did anybody ever say, great work?
Yeah.
Did anybody say, you're so talented? I'm so glad that you're on my team. Thank you so much for being here. Man, if I had to work with anybody, I'd want it to be you. That's also feedback. Okay, so consequence can be positive, negative, or neutral, right? There can be good consequence, bad consequence, but there has to be something that comes at the end. That is accountability. And authority, without authority, there can be no accountability. You cannot hold people accountable for something they do not have authority in. That is injustice.
Injustice.
Yes. That's not just disempowerment. That is the very definition of injustice. You're holding someone accountable when they do not have authority. That is injustice. Go ahead. You have an idea?
The reality is the top management take the decision, for example, in my area, which is the procurement. You cannot authorize everyone, but they have to provide the right information in a specific format.
Yeah.
So information has to go all the way to the decision maker to take the final decision if this money going to be spent in this way or not. So you cannot authorize everyone, but they are accountable to do the right thing as per the book. This is the process.
The process is disempowerment. If they don't have authority, they can't be held accountable. The authority that they have is to provide accurate information, right? And they have the authority to go get the information and make it more accurate and seek information to make it more accurate and provide accurate information. They don't have the authority to decide. That decision-making authority has not been delegated. So you can't hold them accountable for the consequences of the decision. It wasn't theirs. But you can hold them accountable for the quality of information for which they did have authority.
The recommendation usually comes from them. For example, if you're on a KPI and you are recommend has a data analyst something to invest some, something, and you have done the due diligence, and as per your analysis, you have recommended the top management to investors.
That's correct.
Invest in that place goes wrong for some reasons because you didn't do the right. So, you didn't do the homework.
Yeah, you were empowered to find higher quality of information and you didn't. I only have all-stars on my team. I have an all-star team. My expectations of my players are high. Right, Amy?
All right.
Okay, that's fine. It cannot be under themselves only. It will be also under manager, right? That's correct. Because he is the line manager who is going to share this information to the top management to take a decision.
That's correct.
Or didn't they consider it to the underlying manager more than that to get themselves? Because they did their work. But even if it's wrong information, he has to verify.
Yeah, look, accountability and authority have to be at exactly the same level. Right? If the authority is too high, then it's not going to work. If accountability is too high, it's not going to work. Empowerment is authority and accountability at the same level. We can't hold people accountable for something they didn't have authority over. That's unfair. That's unjust. Make sense? We want to try to balance those things. And yeah, come. And yeah, please. Of course, love. Yes. Awesome. This is also a good book. And this is much easier to read, I'm going to tell you. Yeah.
It's personal.
That's true. It's true. So why do we withhold critical feedback? Oh, and don't tell me you don't do it. You tell everybody, in your one-on-ones, they say, oh, how am I doing? You say, yeah, great. And then they leave and you complain about them. Every boss does that. Why do we do that? Why are we withholding critical feedback?
It's the immaturity of the recipients.
Why would they feel that way? Okay, but are they perfect?
No.
Okay. The immaturity of who? The manager or the employee? The recipient.
Of the feedback, yeah. If it's the employee in this case.
Well, surely they must not think that they are God.
But the feedback should become like this.
Yeah. Yes, but critical feedback is how we develop. Critical feedback is what you give to your kids. And you love them.
We can change it from critical to positive feedback.
The framing should be
Friends.
You are afraid to rock the boat.
Right. Why?
But you raise a good point. Our kids, we be very critical of them.
And we love them. Yeah. And do they run away from us?
No.
And never come back?
They don't have choice.
Okay. No. What do? They get stronger. They learn how not to do it.
But it depends how you do it.
Not always.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to be mean. I'm not suggesting mean. I am suggesting that withholding critical feedback is mean. You are robbing someone of the opportunity to develop themselves because you have a higher quality of information than they do, and you've decided to disempower them by withholding that information. To what? Save face? Because you don't want to shame them?
Like a constructive feedback.
Yeah. But that's the same. It's critical feedback is the same as being a critical. You all have a best friend? Anyone have a best friend?
Yeah.
Right. Your best friend is the one that can tell you you're being a jerk.
Right.
The closer you are to somebody, the more critical feedback you can take from them. And the higher quality of critical feedback you can deliver. Correct. Yes. That is the same in the office. The highest form of critical feedback will be between a manager and an employee that trust each other, might even love each other, but probably won't say it out loud. Okay, so if you have that level of relationship, critical feedback goes up. What are the consequences if we withhold that critical feedback? What happens to people in our care? What happens to our teammates, our employees? If I withhold critical feedback, and if I just tell them they're doing fine all of the time, even if I know they're not, first of all, I'm lying. Okay. Secondly, I'm robbing them of the opportunity to develop. And what is going to happen exactly? Yes, their performance will go down. They'll think.
They think they're doing better.
Yeah.
That's the awareness, that perception.
That's correct.
Be accurate.
That is exactly right. That's right. Good. Yes. Lama, book. Book, Lama. Yes.
I already have this,
There you go. Hold on. Yes, you are robbing them. You are stealing from them. Okay, if your kid does something And it's like, it's clearly a mistake. You point it out. Why? Because you love them. That's what you do for people you care about. You want them to succeed. You want them to get better. We don't rob them of critical feedback. That's not love. That's mean. Honor and honesty are the same word. Are you with me? Yeah. It's getting a little quiet. I know. I'm supposed to be done now. Can we have 5 more minutes? We're good? Right. That's the end of that conversation. Accountability is empowerment. Credibility is feedback. Honor and shame and feedback and the critical friend. Those are the conversations we've just had. Last one. Dare to innovate. A little while ago, I was doing an executive committee offsite meeting for a large international bank. And we had 17 GCXOs and CXOs of that organization all together in a room, very much like this. And they were having me do a leadership training workshop, kind of like this. And I asked them, I said, I would love for one of you to give me an example of a mistake that has cost this organization $1 million in the last year, a mistake that you were responsible for. Would any volunteers like to give me a mistake? How about you? Has any of you done anything in the last 12 months that has cost this organization $1 million dirhams? Anyone? Anyone? What about $500,000 dirhams? Anyone? Anyone going to offer me an example? Free book. Free book. If you can give me an example of a mistake that you made that cost this organization 200,000 dirhams, going once, going twice.
I mean, I can share this with when we get some hirings wrong, the cost of the hiring and the cost of replacement and so on, and then depending on the scenario, it's in the forefront.
Perfect.
And it happens.
See? Yeah, free book. I think you already have this one, yeah?
Yes.
There you go.
No, actually, you know what? Ibrahim stole this one from me.
That's great. That's great. Okay. So it took 200,000. So we went down from $1 million to 200,000 dirhams before I finally got somebody to speak up about a hiring. It's still not specific yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
So, wrong guys.
Yeah, give me names. It'll be more interesting. What I'm interested in is the anatomy of your mistakes. So I was in front of this executive committee and we were talking about mistakes. Not one of them offered me anything. Complete silence. Complete silence. And I said, well, that's very confusing for me. Are we gods? Are we cowards? Or are we liars? Yeah, exactly. I said, first of all, look, you're in finance, right? The game of finance changes every day. Technology is moving very quickly, right? So we know that your industry is moving rapidly. And for you to maintain competitiveness, to be efficient in your industry, you have to move fast. Okay? If you're moving really fast and developing yourselves as people and as an organization, you're going to make mistakes. If you're not moving fast enough to make mistakes, you're not moving fast enough, period. That's it. So if you're moving fast enough to make mistakes, but you're not making any mistakes, you must be a god. Well, you have to tell me now, because then I'm going to have to worship you, and it's going to be really awkward for everyone. Okay? Well, if you're not a god, that means that you're either moving fast enough to make mistakes, and you're just not telling us, which makes you a liar, or you're not moving fast enough to make mistakes, which makes you a coward.
Let's start earlier. I was giving an example of technology project. Sometimes they invest.
Sure.
And they just don't create the expected business outcome.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
But you can call it an experimentation because others will succeed, and that's
right.
Part of the business. As you say, if we don't put some money on that, we don't know if it's going to fail or not.
That's right. It is far cheaper to break things than it is to not move fast. So break things. Expect your team to break things. Celebrate the mistakes on your team. If they're not making any mistakes at all, it's because they're not trying or they're hiding. And it's the same for you.
Because they're not gods.
Because they're not gods, yes. If you are, you have to let me know, because That would be really awkward for like everyone. Yeah, but since we're just going to go ahead and say that we're probably not gods, right? Which means we need to be moving fast enough to break things. And that's the same for everybody on your team. All of them are human. We are not perfect. And the very definition of the division between you and God is your imperfection. And I think it's the most ridiculous thing that we do in leadership is to say, let's identify our gaps, our leadership gaps, and close the gaps. No, that's ridiculous. That comes with the arrogance of that position, that with enough time and enough effort, I could close the gap between me and God so that I could perform as well in my job as Allah could if he had my job. That's ridiculous. It's shirk. You know that word? Yeah, I know that word too. Yeah. We can't do that. We can't do that for ourselves. We can't do that for our leaders. We cannot expect that of our executives. It's ridiculous, the pressure that we place on them. They are expected to be perfect or to appear perfect, and we know they're not. It is insanity. And why would we put that expectation on our teammates? Like, it's unjust.
But when you plan for your employee, yes, you expect to reach these goals.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you have to evaluate them in the end of the year,
yeah,
and how you come to deal with these mistakes.
You celebrate them. Yeah. The only look, Amy will tell you, you can make as many mistakes as you want on my team, but you cannot hide them. If you hide them, you're robbing us of the opportunity to learn from them. Okay? And you cannot repeat them. If you repeat them, it's because you haven't learned from them. But make as many mistakes as you want. Just don't hide them and don't repeat them. And it's okay. It's okay to not be perfect because I'm pretty sure you're not a god. My level of confidence is very high.
Don't set them in the beginning about this.
Why? I'm telling you now. Marty is now regretting his decision bringing me here. It's like, maybe this was not such a good idea after all.
My team can confirm this more or less what I've been saying consistently, right? So
that's right. Yeah, look, if you're not moving fast enough to break things, you're not moving fast enough to be on my team.
But
that is
some mistake they have impact in the business, for example, in companies or they didn't pass the competence on business, for example, in IT services. So
what do you do?
Mistakes, taking the shortcuts to do things, not reviewing every single information before sharing with others. Laziness. I can tolerate such behavior in my team, and I cannot.
So you say it.
It doesn't just be celebrate or
correct.
Celebrate.
Look, if they're making mistakes, you celebrate them because that's the first time they've made that mistake. If they've made the mistake again, then you don't celebrate it because they're repeating the same mistake. They're not learning.
Easy to celebrate.
If they're not learning, then they might be in the wrong job.
How do you celebrate mistakes of your teams?
Amy, what do I do with the mistakes that people make on my team? Be a good time for accountability here.
Corrie, maybe just to clarify the concept of celebration.
Yeah.
I don't think you mean throwing a party.
No.
It's using it in a positive way to say, listen, this happened, let's use the opportunity for all of us to learn.
That's correct.
So it's an investment so that no one else would do the same mistake.
Yes.
In the future, which is a kind of celebration.
I know. I say celebrate your mistakes because it's shocking, but what you're actually celebrating is the learning opportunity.
Yeah.
You're celebrating the learning opportunity, which you would not have gotten if your employee didn't tell you about their mistake. Okay, and you wouldn't have had that learning opportunity or your employee if you didn't point that mistake out. Not talking about mistakes comes from the arrogance of thinking that you might be a god or could be at some point, or your employee might or could be a god at some point, which is stupid. And it robs the organization of the learning opportunity that came from that unexpected or undesired outcome. It's lunacy.
So would you go on point two again?
Point two, omni-talented teams. Yes, we're getting there. This is the last piece of this conversation. Omni-talented teams. So the definition of the gap between me and God is my weaknesses. Okay? For me to close that gap, or to think I can close that gap, that's shirk. That's the definition of that. So I will never be omni-talented. None of our leaders, it doesn't matter how royal they are never going to be omni-talented. No one is omni-talented, because that is the very definition that separates them from God. But what we can do is we can surround ourselves with people whose strengths are our weaknesses, and we can trust each other. The closest we can get to omni-talented leadership is together on teams of people that are different than you. Make sense? This, I believe, is part of the grand design. This is why we've been engineered the way we've been engineered. We all have strengths and weaknesses. We need to put those things together in combinations where we're trusting each other's strengths, and we collaborate with people that are very different than us. That is as close as we can get to omni-talented leadership. Make sense? That is what I want you to see. Surround yourself with people that are different than you. Trust them. That's how you innovate. How are we testing our working assumptions? If we think something might work, like a piece of software, who was it? Piece of software. How do we test it? We throw money and time at it.
And fun.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, what do we do?
In discussing or the application?
Both. Yeah. We throw it away and we move on. We either iterate and invent something better, or we throw it out, we start with something new. We don't spend too much time wallowing in it, mourning it. It doesn't matter. It was yesterday. There is no measure of regret that's going to be useful. Right? Regret is the most useless, second most useless emotion that humans have. Regret is emotional energy that you are giving to something that can never change. It happened. It'll never unhappen. So there's no amount of emotional energy you can give to it that's going to unhappen it. It's useless. Almost as useless as worry. Worry is emotional energy that you're giving to something that hasn't even happened. Right? There's not even any evidence that it's happened yet, right? Other things could happen. And yet you're giving all of this energy to it. One of the most difficult things for us to do as leaders, as managers, even as human beings, is to be present. Right? To live this moment. We understand what happened. We have hope for what is going to happen. We know that things don't always work out very well, and actually the world is an imperfect place, so we can expect things to go wrong. We just shouldn't be surprised when they do.
One important thing that I've learned is you need to know exactly when that boat is let go. It's as important as the failure or success. It's that some projects you just continue on and on and on and on. They're never going to go in right, but you just are too attached to trade.
Yeah, it's called a commitment bias. It's when you invest in something and you think, if I just invest a little more, it'll be okay, and it's never going to be okay. There's a lot of studies on that, entrepreneurial studies, leadership studies on commitment bias. So you'll do that with team members too that you believe in. You think they're going to get better and they just don't, and they just don't, and then they just don't, and they just don't. And you keep them along way too long, okay? It's insane because they're in the wrong chair, first of all, which is robbing them of the opportunity of participating in an economic environment where they're thrilled and talented and better and being cheered for and encouraged, and they're a better fit and they feel more empowered. You're robbing them of that experience, their family of the benefit of that experience. You're robbing some stranger out there of being able to sit in that chair. Some very high qualified, good fit is out there, and they want to participate and they want to develop and they want to run. And we're robbing them of that experience too. Plus, you're robbing the team of the experience of playing at their best because one of their players isn't developing. Sound familiar? Okay. Don't rob people. It's mean. It's not nice. All right. If there's no risk, there is no innovation. You have to have a risk of failure. If there's no risk of failure, you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to gain any confidence. There's not going to be any innovation. Every gain in confidence comes from risk. There is no risk, there is no confidence.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
So basically we need good critical feedback to our colleagues. How do we balance it or not making their competence because you want them to be confident about what they're doing, or it's not accurate. But sometimes the critical feedback on the honest feedback and not dropping the learning experience
could have the negative impact on confidence. How do you?
A lot of that has to do with delivery. Yeah, framing is interesting. Framing is exceptional. And this is why we started with connecting what they do with their personal reasons for doing it, right? They're not excited about Excel spreadsheets. They're not excited about web development, whatever it is that your team is doing. That's not what they're there for. They're there for their families. They're there for their career. You start with that. That's the frame. I know you want to provide for your family. I know you want to participate really well in the team here. I know you've got career aspirations that lead beyond this place. In order for you to get there, you have to get through this hurdle. We have to get you really, really good at this in order to get there. You're never going to get there unless you're really good at this. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm not working against you. I'm working with you now. What resources can I provide to you as your leader, as your manager? What do you not have that I can give you? Is it my time? Is it effort? Is it a little bit of training? Is it education? Is it a tool? What can I give you to help us as a team get over this hurdle? This is your role on the team, right? And remember, the team is more important than any member of the team. Right. Same of every tribe.
Right. The tribe is more.
Yes, the tribe is more valuable than any member of the tribe. But we try, we don't just kick people out of our families, okay? There's a long process before we do that. There's a long process of, hey, can I help you to develop? We're here to encourage you. We don't beat people that are suffering. We help them.
Right.
Okay, any last questions? I need to let you go.
For the mistakes, you said we have to accept the mistakes and celebrate. I think some kind of mistakes we cannot accept it.
Like what?
Some mistake is cost a lot of money for the. I think it's not able to accept some kind. It is it depends on the level of the mistakes and the kind of mistakes.
Yeah, if you're not willing to fire them, then you have to accept the mistake. Do you accept the mistake, or you fire them? The mistake is a learning opportunity. If to reject the mistake is to reject the learning opportunity, that is a failure.
Yeah, but I think what was Achilles was repelled to his mistakes with charter of negligence.
Yeah.
Just not taking things seriously.
Is it the first time they? Yeah. Is it the first time they've made that mistake?
Well, it depends. Well,
that would be
That's a habit, and that becomes quite a risky thing to.
That's correct. That means
it's not been rectified.
That's right. So if a member of the tribe is developing themselves and making mistakes in their own development, that's fine. The tribe will absorb that. If that member of the tribe is consistently making the same mistake, they're stealing from the tribe. The tribe will not absorb that. Yeah, the tribe is more important than any member of the tribe. So again, you can make as many mistakes with me as you want. If you're on my team, I've got you. You cannot hide them because that means that we can't learn from them. And you cannot repeat them because that means you're not learning from them. Yeah? Khalifa, look. No love for you. No love.
I'll take it. We will exchange.
My pleasure. All right, that's it. I've kept you longer than agreed. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Can we just 2 more minutes? Not because we want to have the last word. We want to thank Dr. Corrie properly. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Any parting words? Quick pats on the back for Dr. Corrie.
Feedback.
Fun position.
Thank you. Was it practical?
Very, very
helpful. Yes. You have the slides. You can send them to them. Okay.
We will do that.
Yeah, and there's no notes on those slides. It was just me talking. So, if you need anything, please reach out to me. I'm not difficult to find. Okay.
One thing I'm going to do is go to my teenage daughter and tell her I'm an ace predator.
Yes.
And she is one as well.
That's right.
So that's a challenge.
She's actually better. She's the next generation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doctor, thank you. A lot of paradigm shifts.
My pleasure.
Too many to elaborate here, but they're
my pleasure.
Amazing. To steal one word from your book, we loved your session.
Thank you so much.
And we love you too.
I love you too.